And it's interesting because I guess visually, I've always just been kind of pushing in, let's say, positive energy in air quotes, however you want to define that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, I've never really, I guess, taken out the negative per se. So
Mm-hmm.
when you're taking it out, do you almost try to visualize, if you will, like where it's going, like whether it's going back into the earth, whether a different being is taking it? Because, or do you even have something like, I guess, maybe like an apple that's sitting beside it and push it into the apple and then throw out the apple? Or is it, are all these valid things? How do you see
A
it though?
couple different valid things. I mean, you really hit it on the head. Let's kind of go backwards a little bit. You said apple. There are different foods that you can do that with. I had just posted a video on TikTok about how an egg absorbs energy. The shaman that I work under has used oranges to absorb energy. And so that can definitely happen, that transfer of energy. And then you just want to make sure that you throw that egg out, you throw that,
Yeah.
orange out. You don't want to use that. But in terms of like basically what you were saying about you are putting in your positive intentions into your food, but you're not necessarily thinking of removing the negative. When it comes to things like food or water or things like that, I kind of think of like when you have like, think of like a cup and water and it's like really dirty, gross, there's mud in there. You can pour that out and then replace it with positive water. You may even want to wash the cup a little bit. But then you can also take that same cup and then just pour a whole bunch of positive water in it. And what's going to happen naturally is that all the things you don't want are going to come out. And so that's good
Mm,
too. It depends on how you want to get at it. And when you are doing a lot of different kind of energy healing, you're going to figure out which one is best for that client or that person or recipient. So if you're just programming your food with positive intentions, that's great. When I do it, I definitely am putting my Reiki symbols on it, and I always work with Gaia. I love Mother Nature. I love Earth, and we're going to get into her too about how we're grounding it. But I always just give her gratitude, and what I do, I don't know if anyone else does this, probably, but I just think about literally all the food that's on my plate and how it was in its original form. So from the ground and how it grew, whether it was the chicken, whether it was,
yeah, I've
the
done
corn,
this.
whatever it is, and just like see it grow in your head and just be grateful for the whole entire process. I'm grateful for the people who are the farmers. I'm grateful for the people at the store who sold it to me. I'm grateful for that whole entire process, and all that gratitude kind of takes it all out. So I'm not necessarily like a vegan or vegetarian or have ever claimed to be, but I feel like praying over your food is definitely one way to kind of take out like the fear that those animals had gone through and all the pain and the trauma, because you can definitely eat that. I mean, there's been times where I've bet you've eaten at your favorite restaurant and then like the one time you eat that burger just didn't sit right. Like you don't know what was happening with the chef's energy that day. You don't know what was happening to that cow's energy that day. But to get more into Mother Gaia, you always want to either visualize it or actually physically do it with the earth, because Mother Earth has this energy where it can take in everything. It has more than enough of a capacity to be able to withhold and take in and use and then bring life into the world with what you give her. So that could be the stress, the anger, the anxiety, the pain, the trauma, whatever it is. So when it comes to Reiki energy, if I am extracting something, I can either give it up to the guides, the higher self, any sort of ancestors, ascended masters who are here to help. So I'm going to go above their aura and give it to them, or I can take it and I can throw it into the ground. I could also light a candle and throw it into the fire too.
Mm, I like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely want to emphasize what you were saying about visualizing that whole process.
Hmm.
I don't know how I came across it. I wish I remembered, but somehow, someone, some way, someone, I heard about that and it blew my mind because the first time I did that, going through the whole process, right? If I had meat or if I had vegetables, if I had eggs, like rethinking, okay, the chicken was in the best state possible, laid this egg, then the farmer was in love when he picked up the egg, and then he put that on the truck, then the truck got to the grocery store, I went, bought it from the grocery store, everyone was happy along the way. I kid you not, it was the most delicious meal that I ever ate in my entire life.
Yeah,
It
I believe
freaking
it.
it blew my freaking mind. To this day, I'm just like in shock that that happened. And so with that saying, I mean, it is an extensive process, right? It does take a little bit of energy physically and mentally. Is that something that you do anytime you eat something, especially if you have, let's say, a salad, right? Where there's
Hmm.
carrots, there's olives, there's dressing, there's olive oil, there's, I don't know, onions. I mean, you have 4 or 5 different things. Do you mentally rehearse that every time you drink something or gonna eat something?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily for every single individual item on the plate. Like carrot, thank you. Corn, thank you. It's like everything else on here, thank you. And I just kind of imagine it all. But it can happen in an instant. So it's really not too long of a process. But I do, yeah, I program my water and I program my food. And I've been doing that ever since I got Reiki too. And I was like, I could put Reiki in anything. And I just like went crazy with it. And I by now I feel like a lot of people, especially who listen to this podcast, should know that you can program water, whether you are attuned to Reiki or energy healing or not. But um, I would just take my time to do so and just a quick little prayer. And it was always like interesting to me that I started to do that because I never really grew up with a religious background or anything. So praying over my food, I was always looking at other families like, oh, okay. Like I didn't know like what to do or it didn't really resonate. And now I'm that person who's just like, excuse me, like I have to go pray over my food and just like set the good intentions for it. But because of the attunement that I went through, it became a habit to where like I really don't even forget to do it. It's just kind of like a rhythm and a flow. And if I
Mm.
do maybe have a couple bites and I like forget to do it, I'll just like sit and do it again because I'll something will tell me. I guess it's become so much of a habit. Maybe it's my higher self, but something will tell me like, hey, just, tell Gaia that you love her for that. And I was like, okay, good. And I usually program it with not just like positivity, but something that I need. Like if I am sick, oh, thank you for the health and well being. Or if
Mm.
I am like emotionally not okay, like thank you for the stability. Thank you for the emotional balance. And it's usually always programming something that I need that day.
That's I've thought about that as well, especially because it's something that's going to be digested and literally integrated with your fabric of being. I
Hmm.
have thought about that, and